Hey everybody, chat with nobody else is on 7:30 Sunday evening, time for some Gearhead interactive live chat. Several guys here and ready to go tonight. Pete is on, and Cream City Pete is here. Ryan and Amy are here with us. JP's back. Alan's on. Glad you guys all made it tonight and ready to go. Exciting night tonight. We're going to give away these valve covers. Auction pile is getting bigger instead of smaller. We need to whittle that down a bit. Had an interesting week here. Got some more cool stuff bought. Going to talk a little bit about that. And as always, badge, brochure, cap, promo model, can, all of our normal stuff. Randy's here with us. Jim made it. And we are live on Facebook as well, so I don't see anybody on there yet, but we are connected, so that's something. John Sanderson made it tonight. Glad you guys are all here. I know it is a holiday weekend, so we discussed this last week. Hubcap Dylan, that, whether everybody was going to be busy tonight or not, we decided to go ahead and do it, so we're here. So I don't know if we're going to have, we got 21 people now. I don't know if we'll have 20 people or 100 people. Don't know, but the general consensus was let's give it a shot. So here we are. Let's see what happens. Buick Man made it tonight. Glenn's on with us. Ron Levesque is back. Steve Reed's here. A lot of familiar names. Glad you guys are all here and ready to go. As always, a little bit of housekeeping before we get too far into stuff tonight. Autocorrect, please double check your comment before you hit send. If autocorrect has changed it into something that I do not understand, then I have to skip it. I try to catch most comments. I do occasionally miss a few, but I try to catch most of them. If I can't make them out at all, then I will just skip them. Alec is here on Facebook. Jeff from Ottawa's here. Michael Brown stopping by tonight. The Nobody Show Facebook page. If you were on the Nobody Show Facebook page, please remember I cannot see those comments. This is a shared video from the Nobody Else's Auto page. If you're on Facebook and you want to comment, participate in the auctions, participate in the discussion, you need to be on the Nobody Else's Auto Facebook page, or you can always jump over to the Nobody Show YouTube channel. Those are the only two sets of comments that I can see on my monitors. Dad's here with us tonight, so please keep that in mind as well. Trolls, we do occasionally get trolls on here. You guys make sure that to know that they are not welcome. We do have a few people helping us out with that. We've got that under control a lot better than what it was, but we do occasionally have one still sneak in there. Ads, it's part of their system. There's unfortunately nothing we can do about it other than try to work around them. I've got the settings cranked back on it, but they are going to run them. So anyway, we have to deal with that. And as always, Bill Disk here tonight. We do have the supercharged super chat badge warmed up and ready to go for any super chats. Always appreciate the super chats. And we pop out the supercharged Auburn badge, which is very appropriate this weekend with the Auburn Court Duesenberg Festival happening in Auburn, Indiana this weekend. So Kevin Brown's here. Tony's stopping by. So maybe we'll get several good super chats tonight for the supercharged super chat in honor of the Auburn Court Duesenberg ACD Festival this weekend. Anyway, hope everybody had a great week. Hope everybody is enjoying their holiday weekend. Labor Day tomorrow. I know most people are off tomorrow. I'll be working, but that's the nature of the beast. Been kind of a crazy day today, even just getting things ready today, but we made it. We're here. We're ready to go, so that counts for something. Dennis stopping by. Glad you guys all made it back once again. Ready for tonight's chat. Mark's here. Chat coming soon. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate that. I will keep my eyes peeled for that. Doesn't sound like a bad plan, Buick Man. Anyway, what's been going on? Like we discussed last week, the article in Old Cars Weekly that did come out this week for you subscribers that do get Old Cars Weekly. The article on James Hetfield's cars that Addie and I did up in Nebraska a few months ago, that did come out. So you guys be keeping your eyes peeled for that. If you're a subscriber to Old Cars Weekly, let me know how you think the article turned out. I hope it turned out okay. I hope you guys like it. But just some pretty amazing stuff. So be sure to keep your eyes peeled for the new Old Cars Weekly and check out that article. If you were with us Tuesday evening, obviously that didn't go so well. John Anderson here, vacationing in Idaho. Have a good time up there. Glad you were able to jump on for a bit. So you did get yours, Pete. So anyway, as you guys know, I do a lot of work with Old Cars Weekly. It's a great publication. It is extremely diverse, which is why I like it. Obviously, I work with them, so I'm a little bit biased, but it is a very diverse publication. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Check it out. And it's well worth subscribing to. I know several of you guys have subscribed over the last few years, but just like running the article on the Hetfield cars. That's those are some pretty amazing cars. So they don't just strictly focus on like really early classics, even though it's called Old Cars. They have a very, very diverse publication with a lot of great stuff in it. But hey, there's Austin. The only thing Pete subscribes to anymore, and I, a lot of that stuff I don't subscribe to hardly anything anymore either because it's all the same stuff, just time and time again. But anyway, Toy Tuesday, if you were with us Tuesday night, I had some really cool stuff lined up, and then everything locked up. I don't really know what happened. I know you guys are probably getting thirsty. It's time for a Hudson badge, but I don't know what happened Toy Tuesday. I was still live. My phone never locked up. My timer was still counting. Everything was still going. But you guys all started commenting that it locked up on your end. Hey, there's Randy with a Nut Farm. Big Red stopping by. So I don't have any clue what happened Tuesday evening. And it happened, everybody said, just as I was digging out the first clock. So actually I only bought one clock. Yeah, another clock, but I really didn't like it. So was getting ready to get the first clock out. We had a few pieces of porcelain to check out, a super cool game. And I have no clue what happened because everything on my end, everything that I saw was working. So something internally locked up from the feed going to you guys and shut it down. So don't have any clue what happened there. We will get to that stuff this week. So we got a couple of pieces of porcelain, a clock, the game. I did get some license plates and hubcaps, and guess what? You guys are probably going to see a few of those pieces here in the very near future this evening. I got a little bit of that cleaned up already, ready for tonight's auction. So excited about that. But I did get some cool stuff. You guys just have to wait another week to see it, unfortunately. But that's what happens. We are at the mercy of the system, and there isn't much we can do about it. And if we're still going to keep doing it, which everybody enjoys or seems to enjoy because you keep coming back, we got to work around what they've got going. So anyhow, we did have a lot of rain this week, unfortunately, which meant I didn't get a lot done at the yard. In fact, wasn't hardly at the yard much at all this week. But definitely going to have to do some drying out there. However, I did get some more stuff done for F&E Collector Auto Auction this week. Hey, there's Leo stopping by. I listed something this week. It's up on the website. So you guys are going to have to go check it out. FEClassicCarAuction.com. I listed a real live running, driving, moving OSHA violation this week. Yep. It's not a car. It's not a truck. Yep, that's true, Pete. Welcome our newcomers. Do we have any newcomers on tonight? I forgot to do that. So you got to check this thing out. It is like it's 1953 is what the owner thinks it is. Some of this early equipment, they didn't really have a year on it. They made the same thing, for 5 years at a shot. But he thinks it's a 1953. And it is a Windolf, I think. A Windolf crawler. It is the size of a guard. It is an actual crawler with a blade. Does it have a Wisconsin on it, I think? I think it's got a Wisconsin on it. and it looks like a miniature Caterpillar, but it's the size of a garden tractor. It is awesome. Hey, Mike from Texas stopping by. It's up on the website, feclassiccarauction.com. You got to check this thing out. It is so cool. It is the neatest little dude you've ever seen. There are, he said it will fit in the bed of a truck, Pete. It is, when you sit in the seat, everything in front of you, I don't know if you guys will be able to see this picture or not. Okay, I'll try to blow it up a little bit. There are no guards. There are no shields. There is no floor. You're just sitting right there with all the controls. Yep, didn't really matter back then, I guess. So how cool is that thing, guys? It's pretty. Yeah, Austin's already excited about it. It is super neat. It is the neatest little dude. I mean, it would be so fun to go out if you had like a big garden. You could do it probably by hand quicker, but it would be so much cooler to go do it with a miniature bulldozer than anything else, right? I mean, who doesn't want a miniature bulldozer? It's kind of like a tank. I mean, who wouldn't want a tank? But you could get a little miniature bulldozer that'll fit in the back of your pickup. You can zip around your property. You got all those levers. Yeah, this thing is so neat. It's awesome. Like I said, it would not pass any safety check in today's world at all, anywhere, no how. But, there's kind of a side shot of it. Like I said, I've got about 20 pictures of it up on the website. It will definitely get the neighbors talking. Not saying it will get them talking nicely about you, but it will get them talking. It's like I said, it's super cool. But it's up. We got a bunch more stuff going this week, so we'll have some more stuff coming up. Definitely hope to see some of you guys coming out. Doesn't look like Austin's not going to make it this year. That kind of stinks. So hoping you make it back. Rico and Jess typically come out. Pete's going to try to make it. Hey, there's Andy, the Rusty Okie, stopping by. But just under a month out, this is when it gets really busy. This is when things really start happening. So about a dozen. John Sanderson coming out. Great. Exactly, Randy. Brakes? Who needs brakes? You've got a bulldozer. It's a miniature one, but it's a bulldozer. Scott with us on Facebook. So it what does it matter? Because it's a bulldozer. If you run into something, you're just going to push it with your blade because you're driving a bulldozer, right? That makes sense to me. Beer goggles and let's go take it for a spin. There you go. A mini killdozer. Yeah, this one doesn't offer much protection. So it's pretty neat. But I was pretty excited about it when he showed it to me. He said, hey, you think we could run this in the auction? I was like, absolutely. That's right, Waycamp. You need to come out and own that. Balin Wire stopping by. It's hilarious. It is hilarious. It is cool. It runs great. I mean, he was revving it up. I mean, he was having a blast with it. This thing is so cool. There you go, Austin. You can at least come out. How about a Hudson badge? Where was that video? He was like revving it up. That was pretty funny. Oh, and it's got a chrome stack on it. It does have a chrome stack. It's kind of discolored a little bit, but it does have a chrome stack on it. So anyway, I kind of got off key. I kind of got off topic on that, but it's pretty exciting. Crash helmet would probably be well advised if you're going to go get crazy with your little mini bulldozer. So, hey, there's Steve Hageman stopped by. Tractor Mike is here in the house. Yeah, Austin is in now that it's got a chrome stack. So anyway, like I said, that's the fun part about doing this is all the cool stuff that pops up. Can't wait to hopefully see some of you guys here that weekend. It's going to be a ton of fun. But we always have a great time, and it's always great to see some of you guys here. Can't wait to see what else pops up yet this year for listings, but definitely a lot of cool stuff. And we'll have should have a lot more stuff coming up. This week will be popping up on there. I got a lot of things to work on that stuff. What else is going on? Sounds like fun, Steve. Went and checked on my F-250 this week. Making some headway on that. Most of the bed is in primer. They've got most of the dents and dings worked out of the bed. And got been sanding on the cab, getting some things worked out on the cab. So Michael Gagola here with us. Glad Michael's back with us. And coming along. I needed to get him some parts. I got him that stuff this week. And so hopefully we'll start seeing some more progress. I need to go down and get some video or something of it here sometime soon too. The hood has been stripped, straightened, is in primer, as well as the tailgate. So making some headway on it. I think it is a Wisconsin baling wire. I think that's what it was. I was just pretty excited watching him zipping it around. So anyhow, there you go. We don't want anybody getting too thirsty out there. We need to slide these in a little more often. What else happened this week? Did have an auction yesterday. It'll sell on the 27th, baling wire at our auction, feclassiccarauction.com. There is a lot more stuff that, more coming on there, but all that stuff will be running on Saturday, September 27th. Yeah, Michael, we're done. We're drawing for him probably here within the next half hour, and I wouldn't have time to shut down and add more entries. So yeah, we're done. That's all done and set. We're going to be drawing here shortly. So, yeah, I think that's what it was, Austin. Like I said, it was super cool. But I did have an auction here in town yesterday. Didn't get much. Went over there, looked at some boxes. Addie needs some toolboxes, but didn't get any of that stuff bought. Looked at a few guns, didn't get any of that stuff bought. So wasn't a real successful auction, but did end up with a super killer Delco battery rack. And I got it super cheap. So I was definitely excited about the battery rack, even though we killed most of the day there and wasn't extremely productive. We got a few other things bought, but excited about the battery rack. The good thing about it is the auction was only a block away from the shop. So it made it pretty simple. But like I said, auctions are always fun. We know that. Let's see what else we got going. Got to check out the No Buddies page. Actually, something else we need to think about, guys, that I got to do something real quick, guys. I've got all this auction stuff here. We're going to work into a little bit of that stuff here at some point. I do not have my auction pad with me, and I need that for the drawing as well tonight. So I think I left that out on the shipping bench from getting stuff ready to ship this week. I did have a few I did get the shipments out that you guys wanted. There are some of you guys that told me to wait, and that's other thing I did want to touch on before we get too far is the oil can books. They have been ordered. I was hoping to see them by the end of the week, but I did not get them. So I would imagine I will probably have these Tuesday. So I'm hoping they'll be Tuesday. He said he'd get them right out to me, and he's just in eastern Kansas. So I was figuring I would have had them by Friday or Saturday, because I called him Monday morning after we got done, and he said he'd get them rounded up and get them headed my way, but just don't have them yet. So hopefully first of the week. And all you guys that have auction stuff waiting, I'll get those out as soon as the books get here. But they are ordered, and I really anticipate seeing them at any time. So wanted to touch on that as well. I'm going to run and grab the auction notepad. So I've got it here when we do the raffle and whenever we decide to sell something. So I better have it here. So bear with me just a second. Oh, I figured I better go grab that while I was thinking about it. Yeah, he was kind of, Pete. He was kind of surprised. But, you know, I talked to him quite a bit, so he knows we do a lot of this stuff. I want to do some video with him. He's an expert on license plates, and I want to do some content with him. We were going to do it, here a year or so ago at a swap meet. My phone was having trouble, but I do want to do some license plate stuff with him, talking about a lot of the differences in Kansas plates. So we'll have some of that coming at some point when I can get him nailed down. But so he knows we do this. He knows we have these get-togethers. But, yeah, he was happy that you guys were excited about it. I mean, he put a lot of time and effort into it, still has some left, and was excited to hear that you guys were excited about getting him for your collections. So anyway, let's check out the No Buddies page, see what you guys have going on there, and see what's been happening. I do catch it, like I said, a couple times a week, but I do not catch it regularly. All right, nothing wrong with adding more swap meet haulers, Matt. There you go, Pete. You're going to get into that thing and you're going to start working on it here pretty quick. The shop, Ryan and Amy's shop. Let's check this out. That looks nice. Check out the new shop pictures. Last time you'll see it that clean, I guarantee you that. It'll start filling up quick. Jeff posted more stripes. You must be like a designer or something, Jeff, because you're always got different stripe packages you're putting together. Gray Kitty. There's a gray kitty here. I said gray kitty, then you have to start meowing. Right? Yes, you. You want to come say hi? You want to see the other gray kitty? What? What? Come here. Come here, dummy. Okay, there. You can say hi to everybody. Say, hi, I'm Gray Kitty. There's a gray kitty over here, too, on the screen. You see this gray kitty? Meow. 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 All right. You're going to have to get down and be good tonight, okay? Say bye-bye, Gray Kitty. Say bye-bye. Meow. Can you see you? Yes. You see the other kitty on the screen? See that kitty on the screen? Meow. 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 All right. How about you hop down? All right, let's see what else we got going on the Nobody's page. Oh, nice. That's a nice looking drawing, Matt. You do some pretty cool stuff. Gibble gas. Don't know much about gibble gas. Alan and Andy hanging out at the Claremore cruise. Great to see you guys actually, meeting up with each other, running into each other at events as well. And this brings up another point. Andy posted something yesterday that, and I did see this pop up on my feed. Great, Andy. That's awesome that you guys just ran into each other. Andy made a post thanking everybody for their dedication to this group, and that's 100% right. Let's have a Hudson badge in honor of that, as a matter of fact. Because without you guys, none of this is anything. This chat is nothing. The page is nothing. None of this is anything without you guys. So, I appreciate you throwing that up, Andy, to thanking everybody for their participation. We are getting to the point where there are several posts per week on there very regularly, which is awesome. And that's all because of you guys sharing what you've got going. So that's super cool, and I appreciate you guys doing that. And thanks for throwing that up, Andy. And thanks to Andy and Zach for managing that page for us as well. Oh, yeah. John Sanderson posted this. Heather Thomas was actually in Wichita this weekend. I did not go. I did not know until this weekend that she was going to be there at Comic-Con. But that was pretty funny when I saw that pop up. Glenn, header gasket problem. Sounds like you got that fixed at least, though. Mark out digging up more badges and emblems. That's a shocker to no one. Mark has definitely got an emblem and a badge problem. The Buick Special Customizing Kit. That's pretty cool, Matt. That was a big deal back in the early 60s. 3-in-1s. Cat up above us the way it sounds. The 3-in-1 kits were a big deal back in the 60s. You could build a stock, custom, hot rod, and they came with extra parts to build them however you wanted. That was, that is definitely a thing in the past. You don't see that anymore, but that's pretty cool seeing some of those old model kits like that. Oh, there we go. Austin posted my high school picture. Yeah, I did. I think Shayla sent me that as soon as you did that, Austin. So I did see that one. Swap meet in Arkansas coming up. Oh, Andy posted the more Conoco memorabilia he got from his buddy down there in Oklahoma. So a lot of great stuff. Ford literature that Andy found. Gwen's having a rough week. Smacked the wheel, blew out some header gaskets. Pete found more cans. Kmart. I love Kmart cans. That was a good picture, Austin. So anyway, Jason also posted classic rides video from Springfield. Benny was there a couple years ago when I was there. We actually did do some content together. He does jump on with us occasionally, but haven't chatted with him in a while, but he's a good dude. So anyway, lots of great stuff happening on there. Appreciate all you guys being part of that and supporting it and making that what it is. Bob here with us. But, there again, that page wouldn't be here without Andy and Zach, and it wouldn't be anything without all of your guys' participation in jumping in there and making things happen. Speaking of auctions, is anybody ready to do any auction stuff? We're kind of just boogieing through along here, and we haven't even stopped to think about it. I got the pad here now. I got this big pile over here. We want to do a few auctions or we want to wait? We got new inventory to talk about next. C10 next weekend in Springfield. Anybody going to? Well, I think I got everybody's attention with the auction word. All right. Well, let's do a couple of things real quick. As always, we'll go 90 seconds. This is it's all smaller stuff tonight, so shipping will be included in the 48 states. Check, money order, PayPal, friends and family, Western Union, any of that works. If you're not in the 48 states and you want to participate, you're more than welcome to. However, you will have to be paid in U.S. funds, as well as shipping. Non-U.S. shipping will be your responsibility as well. This thing kind of funds itself, so spending a ton of money shipping several boxes out of the country would kind of torpedo the entire project. I know a lot of you guys do wait a week or two. That's fine. We do have some stuff that is getting old that I haven't gotten to yet. I did not get to cleaning the tub out this week. But if you do still have something hanging from prior to August, anything prior to August this year, we'll start cycling back into the auction boxes. If you don't want it, that's fine. I understand that. but I don't want to hold something up 2 weeks from tonight and somebody say, hey, I already bought that. Well, you didn't pay for it. It's been laying there for so long. I got this tub that I keep all this stuff in, and that tub eventually just starts filling and filling and filling, and then it's a mess. So anyway, let's find something to sell. We'll start off with something a little bit cheaper to kind of get everybody in the groove. We will go 90 seconds. The high bid that I see at the end of 90 seconds will be declared the winner. I did get, like I said, we're going to do some of these plates. Fresh plates just came in last Tuesday. How about that? This first set's actually kind of banged up a little bit, but it is a matched set. Since it's a matched set, even though they're kind of banged up, I thought we would keep them together. Old School stopping by tonight. Glad you made it back. Starting off with a pair of 1950 Iowas. Now, these are banged up a little bit, and it's kind of weird because the white is actually slightly different on them, but it is a matched set, 55-1430. So like I said, these are bent up a little bit. They're banged up a little bit. This one has kind of a little bit like a thinner or brighter white. This is kind of an off-white. I don't understand that, but they are the same number. It is a matched pair. I assume they were front and rear at that time because they are the same number on these 1950 Iowa plates. I believe 55 would have been the county. That's what it was in Kansas. Ron at 10. These are 5.5 high, 12.5 long. So, like I said, they're banged up a bit. These are not the nicest plates that we've ever sold, but they're 75 years old. They're still a match set. Ron's starting us off at 10, and we are on the timer. We're ticking away on this pair of Iowa plates. $30 seconds gone. Iowa had county names on them for a long time. Not sure. Maybe Austin, or I don't know if Mark's on with us, some of these guys from Iowa that could possibly chime in on some of that. But all I know is we got Ron at 10, and if nobody else bids, these are going in Ron's pile for 10. Both of them. Double shot deal. Kossuth County. One minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. About ready to wind this one up. Kevin, 16. And that does it. Kevin Brown at 16. Snuck that one in right there at the end. Hubcap Dylan at 17. Just a little bit too late. We'll add those to Kevin's pile. I did get your checks this week, by the way, Kevin. Jesse, 18. So that tells me we may have a little bit of a delay tonight because Kevin's came in with about 3 or 4 seconds to spare, but Hubcap Dylan was a couple seconds later. Jesse's was way late. So there may be a little bit of a delay out there, guys, so be thinking about that depending on when you punch your bid in. Let's do another plate, fresh out of this stuff from Tuesday. This plate, you don't think seems that old, but it's over 40 years old. This is a great plate, and this one's in great condition. Even though it's not one of these super early ones, the stuff from the 20s and 30s that are really cool that we all get excited about. But this one, they did a great job on. They had great color, and I think it's a neat piece. And this is a low numbered plate, so that's cool as well. These came out in 81. This is the all blue Kansas plate with the wheat stock on it. Number 83. So if you had a car from 83, this would be a great plate to have. But anyway, Rush County, H, number 83. This wheat stock is printed on it. The number is stamped. The year of 81 is stamped. And you can see on the back where it is all embossed. But this still has a really good finish, really good colors. And I always thought this was really an attractive plate. I thought it was a good blue with the nice yellow and white against it on this plate. This one was used up until 88. This has stickers on it up through 88. On this 2-digit early 80s Kansas plate. And here we go. Meow. Tony 10, Ron 10. We're hung up there, but I don't think it's going to matter. This is a pretty good looking plate. It's going to bring more than 10, I think. $30 seconds gone. What do you think, Great Kitty? You want to bid 15? You do? You do want to bid 15? Great Kitty, you want to bid 15? You do? We'll put 15 in for Great Kitty. Right, Great Kitty? Just past the 1 minute mark. We'll see if Great Kitty gets a play. Just kidding, guys. It was funny. I had to do it. So Tony and Ron still hung up at 10, though. And we're about done. Ron 22, Tony 12. And that does it. Ron at 22. And that is a great looking plate with great color. So I think you'll be happy with that one. You might be right, Nick. I don't remember. I always thought it was a good looking plate. All right, let's catch a cap while we're here. Then we'll keep moving on to some new inventory. I think we've done something similar to this in the past, but this one still has a good shine with original paint. Something for our blue oval fans. How about a Ford cap? 50s era, some of these had white, some of them had a red background depending on the year. This one just, like I said, these aren't extremely rare. You can find these. This one just has a great look to it. It has just enough age to show that it's original and nice. But, definitely shows its age and everybody, you can tell it's original. Just the cap. The cat's over there. Good looking piece. Like I said, you can see just a little bit of surface rust in here. Just enough to know it's original. But still presents really, really well. So like I said, these aren't rare. But, oh, nice hubcap. 10.5 in diameter. Actually about 10 5/8 in diameter. Just a nice looking cool cap. So Ron at 10. Here we go on the timer. Andy, 18. Hey, there's Mark Kirk. We were just talking about you. Wasn't none of it any good, but we were talking about you. On the little Ford cap, Andy at 18. Coming up on the 30-second mark. There's 30 seconds. 1 minute gone, a little under 30 seconds left. It was the years were different. This one was white. I don't remember which year this was. Some of them were red, red background. But I don't think they were body color of the car. I think it was just the different years. Andy at 18, the Rusty Okie at 18. Coming up, just ready to wrap this one up. And that does it. This was like 10 5/8. Andy, the Rusty Okie at 18, adding it to his Ford Cap collection. And Randy sliding in a supercharged super chat with a reminder to round up for Pioneer Village. Appreciate that, Randy. Supercharged super chat from Randy with a Nut Farm. And like we talked about, guys, round up a couple bucks here and there on auction purchases, raffle purchases, whatever it is. We tally those numbers up, and at the end of the year, we go sponsor some cars at Pioneer Village. Check out what they've got going on there. They had a car show there this weekend. Even though they got rain, they still had a good turnout. But round up. Shane with us on Facebook. So we can keep our sponsorship going for Pioneer Village. Anyway, moving on. Let's get some new inventory in here. We'll check out some caps and badges and give away these valve covers here shortly. And we did have better participation this month in the drawing, by the way, guys. I went through this stuff today, and we did have a lot more support this month for the raffle, which means that we will be drawing 3 names tonight. This group of valve covers. Then we will be drawing a single. Then for a single valve cover, I will be pulling a name for another valve cover. However, I did not get to the yard today, so somebody's going to get a surprise valve cover in the mail. And then, of course, we will do some drawings for next month's raffle, which I haven't even gotten to yet. This whole weekend got away from me. But we will have another raffle next month. We haven't decided what to do. You guys be thinking about it. You guys let me know sometime tonight what we want to do. And as a matter of fact, we can do... give you some ideas. Oil cans, caps, toy, oil cans, a cap, or toys. We did a cap last month, so be thinking about what you guys might want to do on next month's raffle. Let's talk about some new inventory. I think I got to sneeze. The steering wheel. That's a possibility. I've got what's everybody think about doing like a steering wheel with a horn ring? Andy just voted for everything. Cans, toys, and emblems. I've got some steering wheels I bought. I could look and see if I've got something that's cool that has like a neat horn ring on it or something. But that might be a different idea. JP says, yes, do a steering wheel. Let me do some looking. I mean, we'd want it to be something cool. The wheel's probably going to have some cracks in it or something like that, but it's as long as it's something that like looks cool hanging up. That's always a possibility. Michael on Facebook likes the idea. We're not raffling off a gold 74 Z28. I can tell you that. That one's not going anywhere. But, okay, let me do some looking around, see what I come up with for a steering wheel with, like a cool horn ring or something on it. 56 had an emblem riveted to the right side valve cover that said, I think it said Strato Streak. I literally think that's the only Pontiac valve cover that said anything. I don't think 55 said anything. 56, the right valve cover had an aluminum plate on it that said Strato Streak. I do have one of those. 57 didn't say anything. 58 didn't say anything. And then 59, they went to the 389. And then the 421 family. I don't know if Steve's still on. Maybe he can remind me of something that I'm not thinking of. But I can't think of any Pontiac valve cover that was stamped with Pontiac on it. Studebaker grill in the past. What I don't remember that one. Like the grill shell, like an early grill shell bill. I do have some more of those still. Tailgate. Worst thing about tailgate, JP, would be shipping, because it could be, $80 or $100 to ship a tailgate. So yeah, shipping would be super expensive on something like that. Okay, Steve's okay. That's right. That's what I said. I'm running this through my brain, Steve, and that's what I'm thinking. So I'm glad because you know better than I do. So Edsel grill. I've only got one Edsel grill that's intact. I might be able to do. Okay, I think 55 may have said Strato Streak on them as well. I know 56 did. I do not have any extra bullet noses right now, Mark. We have done that in the past. We did raffle a bullet nose. I found one at a swap meet a couple years ago, and we did raffle one off. But as of right now, the only thing I've got one on my wall, I've got one in the car, and then Dad's got one. But that's all I've got. Bill, this has just got to send the Edsel grill to you. I can come up with an insert that says Edsel, but I don't think I've got the whole surround for it. So I might be able to at least get like part of one, or maybe a broken one we could kind of JB weld together or something. I don't know. So we can think about that. But for now, I will look for a steering wheel with, some sort of a cool horn button and ring on it. So it, because obviously if you want to hang it in your man cave, you want it to look cool. Yeah, those are kind of tough, Steve. I know I've got one, but I don't think I've got extras of them. So we'll think about a steering wheel, and if I can't find anything like that, we'll punt and go for something else. But I will work on the steering wheel idea for next month's raffle. New inventory. I picked up a couple. Actually, I got one last weekend, but I already had everything worked up, so I didn't add it to the sheet till this week. Actually, both vehicles I picked up today were, or not today, but this week, were disassembled projects. So they were both a pain in the butt, to say the least. The first one, the 1964 Buick Skylark, two-door hardtop, factory 300 4-speed. So kind of an odd duck. It was a bench seat 4-speed car. The little weird aluminum 300 V8 that Buick used in 64, and I maybe into 65, but I'm not sure how much they used it in 65. But kind of an odd little car. They did use the transmission in another project, but other than that, the car is complete. It's just in a gajillion pieces. There isn't even anything bolted to the frame. All the suspension was taken apart out of it. I mean, we literally slid the bare frame on the trailer, then had to sit the bare body on top of the frame, and then start stuffing the car with sheet metal, stacking the bumpers around it, sat the engine on the trailer, sat the rear end on the trailer. Dad actually, it was only about 40 miles away, so Dad brought his Colorado up. We filled the back of his Colorado with the front seat, the back seat, a lot of the long trim, everything. Boxes of little pieces. So I think it is pretty much all there other than the transmission, but man, it was in a million pieces, and it just takes a lot of time to do that stuff, to go up there, load it, tie it down, bring it back, untie it, and then, start unloading it, start sorting it, putting things away. So, but a lot of good stuff there. The nice thing about it is it is disassembled, so I don't have to take it apart to sell parts off of it. That is a win. And the other one I picked up this week, speaking of last night, guys, we did have another get-together last night for our Nobody's Premier members. that where we get on and start talking about how I do what I do. Last night there was actually an online auction with a bunch of cars fairly close to Pete, and he didn't buy anything, but we went through a lot of those results, and I told everybody what I would look for. But I did notice something shortly before I jumped on tonight. You guys, do you remember that 48 Chevy four-door? Just a black four-door. Pete, Bill Disk, and Eric were all on with us. All three of those are in the group. I don't know if you guys remember. Hey, Lance is here with us. Looking at that black 48 Chevy. You remember I said it had an accessory T-bar on the grill? If you guys remember discussing that car last night, and I mentioned that was a good parts car because it was just intact and wasn't torn up too bad, and overall would have made just a good parts car. I don't know if you guys remember that one particular car out of the dozens that we discussed last night, but I did see that car pop up on Facebook today, believe it or not. So I'm sure this was it. But Brown's in Texas, Brown's Salvage in Texas, they're good guys. I've talked to them before. They do a lot of old stuff. They actually had that car on their Facebook page today because they bought it at the auction. So it apparently they agreed with me that would have made a pretty good parts car because it rolled into Brown's Auto Salvage today, apparently. You ordered an Aspen wagon with a 4 on the floor and a leaning tower of power. That's hilarious, Randy. Aspen wagon with a 4-speed and a leaning tower of power, baby. That's awesome. Man, I wonder whatever happened to that car. Talk about somebody finding that today and talk about a weirdo. Wow. So anyway, if you guys want to get in on that group, upgrade to Nobody Premier on your membership and start jumping into that group and learn about how I do what I do and what I look for when I buy cars and things like that. So, but this other one I picked up, it was dead on 2 hours each way, a lot further than I typically like to go. But I did go for a reason. It was also disassembled, and he was keeping the motor and tranny on this one, which was perfectly fine with me because I didn't want to haul it. But it was another 1978 F-250 Super Cab long bed, almost a different color, but basically the exact same configuration as the truck that I'm working on, or actually in the body shop they're working on. Okay, yeah, no problem. Absolutely. That's actually pretty cool, Andy. Andy is actually teaching his kids, Brooklyn and Aubrey, to drive his 56 with a 3 on the tree. But, I mean, that's important. Oh, that's something that everybody's got to know. I mean, driving a stick anymore is almost lost to the world. But that's awesome that you're teaching Brooklyn and Aubrey to drive that old pickup, which is cool. And Andy does post a lot of that stuff. That's another cool thing about being on the Nobody's pages. When you guys do post stuff you're out doing with your vehicles, with your kids, that's what this group's all about. So that's awesome, Andy. And absolutely, definitely want to give a shout out to Brooklyn and Aubrey for hanging out with us on here and learning to drive your old pickup. That's pretty cool. So, and Rusty Okie hitting us with a supercharged super chat. Boom. Right there, just like that. Supercharged super chat from the Rusty Okie. Yes, that's another one, Randy. The '81 Cadillac with the 468. I remember hearing about those because that's when Dad worked at the Cadillac dealership. And the funny part about it is today, cylinder deactivation has become a normal part of the world. But in the early 80s, cylinder deactivation was almost voodoo. It kind of was voodoo for no better than it worked. But yes, cylinder deactivation that we're familiar with today is actually a old technology, old concept. The technology is much better, but an old concept. So, yeah, and sticks don't bother me a bit either, so no problem, Andy. Pretty glad to do it. Glad that they're there hanging out with you, and they're learning something. So anyway, the 1978 F-250 Super Cab that I picked up. I don't think I have, Lance. I actually don't think I know I've never done a video specifically on it. I think we've probably caught it on some lives, but I've never done specifically a video on that truck. Actually, it was a big truck for as big as they were in 28, because I've got a 38 Chevy body sitting on the back of the frame. But no, I never have actually. Probably something I should work into the schedule at some point, Lance. Right now, I'm so busy trying to keep up with new inventory, but that is a good idea, Lance, to maybe possibly squeeze that one in, because that is not only is it a unique vehicle, it is a testament to what people did back in the day. You know, people today are so lazy and they don't want to work. But back then, and I know this happened right around World War II, because that's what the guy told me, was that's when it happened. When the engine blew up in the Chevy truck, they had to cut wheat. You couldn't hardly get any parts. They had a run in 26 Chrysler. They made it all work. And that's what happened. So we'll see we'll take a look at it, try to work that in at some point. But that is a good question, Lance, and something that I probably should kind of think about trying to get squeezed in at some point. So anyway, this 78 F-250, we've got the build sheet on it. Copper and tan. It was copper with a tan roof. 460 V8, 7,050 gross vehicle weight package. Ranger XLT. Seat trim, knitted vinyl. Gauges, ammeter, and oil pressure. Transmission, cruise-o-matic. Optional ratio axle, but it does not tell me what it is. However, this is kind of interesting. Steering column, tilt. It has a factory tilt column in it. And, of course, power steering, low-mount mirrors, air conditioning. Super cab rear seats are jump, AM radio. So, light group, kind of a neat truck. So, we'll be bringing some content on that pickup as well. Like I said, it is in a million pieces. And that's right, Lance. Just with the tools and knowledge is a huge deal. Yeah, back then, you made it work. That's what you had to do. Pennsylvania salt destroyed the Aspen. Yep, that will happen. No problem, John. Hey, I'm glad you were able to jump on for just a bit. Going to fish the Snake River. All right, watch out for any daredevils jumping over you. So. Let's see. Badge, cap, promo model, can, raffle. We got a lot of stuff going on yet. Let's see here. What do I got going? I'm getting lost. I'm getting confused. Yep, I'm not 100% sure I knew it was either, Lance, but yeah, I read the build sheet. It said tilt, and I went out there and sure as the world, it's got a tilt column in it. So they apparently were available because it's got one and it's on the build sheet. No problem, Big Red. How about that? Let's check out tonight's badge real quick, and then we're going to draw for these valve covers here coming up real soon. Tonight's badge. Yes, brand new in the package. These are actually like center caps or inserts for like center caps or hubcaps or something. For our GMC fans. Check these little guys out. These are actually metal, and they are actually stamped. We look at the back of these. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. GMC is actually stamped in them. So these were for a wheel center, hubcap, something like that. Just a small little basic deal. More than likely, they probably reproduced them by this point. But this brand new in the GM package. Pete's got some 2.5 inches in diameter. Just a really, I mean, got kind of a spun aluminum finish to them. You know, when they're on a wheel center or a hubcap, you don't look at them in this kind of detail like we do here. But there's a lot of detail in this little dude. The way the stamping is around the GMC, this outside perimeter line that's been stamped in here. These were stick-on. Actually had kind of a tape to the back of them. So kind of a cool little deal. Pete at 15. You guys want to buy some of these? You seriously want to buy some? I tell you what we can do. There are 4 of them. Hey, there's Kevin L. We can auction them. We can auction them as a choice. And whoever the high bidder is can take one or all, and then we can see if anybody else gets any. Anybody want to do that? Anybody up for doing choice on these things? However many the high bidder wants gets. And then if anybody else, if there's any left, we can go from there. Uh-oh. 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 Another from Kevin L. Supercharged Super Chat. Boom. Right there. Thanks, Kevin L. for the Supercharged Super Chat. Boom. Always appreciate the Super Chats, guys. There goes the hearts. Super Chats. We're having a good time. But anyway, back to our little GMC badges. Do we want to auction these or not? I don't care. There's 4 of them here. What do we want to do? Yes, you do. Okay. Well, we've already seen them. Pete at 15. Let's start the timer off, right? These are brand new. There are 4 of them. High bidder can take as many as they want, and then we'll go from there to see if we've got anything left. Pete, 15. These are actually all stapled together, so we'll make sure that there's one in there. I can feel it. They are all the same part number. Brand new in the GM envelope. Pete, 15. Kind of cute little dudes. 30 seconds gone. 60 seconds left to go. Probably better write this stuff up. Didn't have my auction pad over here ready to go yet. Better get this thing over here. One minute gone, 30 seconds left to go. Pete may be the only player on these things, the way it looks. That or nobody was supposed to give 15 for one. Pete started us off at 15 and nothing else happening, and we're getting close to the end. Randy at 20. Kevin L at 20. I had Randy first, and that does it. Randy at 20. How many do you want, Randy? We've got 4. Randy wants 2 of them. Kevin L was the second bidder. Do you want some, Kevin? Kevin L will take the other 2, okay? That takes care of that one. Those are cute little dudes, too. They really are. What the heck? Let's do another license plate while we're here. In fact, we've got another Iowa. Anybody want to do another Iowa plate? I know you want a Hudson badge. How about an Iowa plate? And we're going to get ready to do that drawing here very shortly. Iowa plate, Kansas plate. What else do I got here? I got some other states in here too. Austin's ready for another Iowa. How about an early Iowa? Old Iowa. It's banged up a bit, but it's still very legible. But there again, it ain't perfect. Put yours in a bonus after the raffle. Okay. You want like to draw, give one of them away at the end of the raffle tonight, Randy? Is that what you want to do? Or so let me know for sure what you want to do on that, Randy. And we're going to auction off another plate. Okay, you want one of them, Randy, and you give one away? Is that what you want to do? All right. Just let me know for sure, Randy. I don't want to mess up and do something you didn't want me to do. Auburn badge. But anyway, let's get to this Iowa plate. The reason it's banged up a bit, it's not rusted out, but it is banged up a little bit but do two bonuses. So Randy wants me to give both of his away. Wow, that's awesome. Two bonus drawings courtesy of Randy with the Nut Farm. Awesome. So that means I've already agreed to give away an extra valve cover plus the drawing in the raffle. And then we're giving away two of these GMC centers courtesy of Randy with the Nut Farm. Thanks, Randy. I appreciate that. Lots of fireworks going on. Awesome. That's super great of you, Randy. But the reason this plate is banged up a little bit because it's 100 years old. Yes, a 100-year-old Iowa 1925. Check this dude out. Now, it's banged up a bit over here. You can see it's got some dents, a little bit of surface rust. It's bent up a bit, but it's 100 years old. I mean, really. The back isn't too bad. There again, some surface rust. I don't see any rust out. Even here where the surface rust is, the edge is still sharp here. Page County, Iowa. So it is banged up a bit. It's not perfect, but it's 100 years old. So what do you expect? It still presents pretty darn well for 100 years old. It is about 15 3/8 by 5 3/8. So 15 3/8 long, 5 3/8 high on this 100-year-old Iowa. So anyway, let's get rolling on the 1925 Iowa. Let's auction this dude off. I'm going to hit the timer and away we go. Ron at 20. And here we go. Well used. Yes, it is. But after 100 years, anything's pretty much well used. Just past that 30-second mark. Ron at 20. See what happens. These early ones are super hard to find. Things usually get interesting at the end. Kind of like everybody's sitting there on their thumbs. I do know we're going to find out here fairly soon. Actually, we're going to find out here in just about 30 seconds because there's that 1 minute mark. So we've got 30 seconds left to go. Ron at 20 on a 100-year-old Iowa plate. Coming down to the wire, we're ticking away. No other bids other than Ron's 20. Tony, 28. Dip Dylan, 21. Tony at 28. We're about ready to wrap it up. And Austin at 30, right at the very tail end. Austin at 30. Mark at 25. That was really late. So I think we do have some delays tonight, guys, because that's happened a few times. We've had some really late bids come in. But anyway, let's keep going. Actually, let's go ahead and draw for the raffle. Click live on the screen, guys. Okay? Not sure what that does, Andy, but all right. Raffle time. The last batch of entries from this week. Pete, Bill Disk, Michael Winter, Big Job, and Matt Williams. Oh, brings it back to live if it started lagging. Okay, maybe that was it. Maybe that's why Mark put the bid in early, but it didn't pop up. So good tip, Rusty Okie. Appreciate you throwing that out there, Andy. So anyway, let's give this stuff away. Lots of stuff to give away tonight. Actually, I actually need to revamp my lines here. Because I need to make spots for these GMC buttons that Randall so generously donated back. And the entries for next month. As well as the valve cover from the second name out. Okay. Here we go, guys. Big Buick oil can. All those entries are in here. The first name out of the hat is going to get all of these. The Buick Nailhead, 53, 54 era. The Mercury with the big M stamped in it. The Chrysler Spitfire. As well as the Cadillac 472 500 family valve cover. So anyway, let's see who's getting those. Then the next name's going to get a mystery valve cover because I did not get out to the yard today to grab another one. But that's all right. It'll be a surprise for somebody. And then we're going to draw some entries for the next month, as well as the 2 GMC buttons that Randy so generously donated back. Let's get to it. All these names in here, ready to go. See your names in there, ready to get drawn here shortly. We'll see. A lot of people are going to win tonight because obviously we've got 5 things coming out of here and you can only win one time. Here we go. First name for the valve covers. Here we go. I think I got her down to 1. What do we have here? I can't even see it. Andy. Rusty Okie. All right. I tell you what, guys, the one thing that has amazed me more than anything is this entire time, none of these have fallen on my head. I didn't put anything to hold them up there. They're just sitting there balancing, and not one time have they fallen on my head. So which means you should stay tuned because I'm going to get beamed tonight, and you guys are going to laugh when one of them does finally fall. because they've been sitting up there very, very well. Your kids aren't as excited as you are. All right. Let's give away a surprise single valve cover that is yet to be determined. That is a very good point, Randy. They don't even want to leave Heather. I can't say that I blame them. All right, Andy is out. Let's see who's also going to get a valve cover. Pete Winters. So we'll pick something out tomorrow and get it on the way to Pete, or in it into Pete's box. All right, who is going into next month's raffle, which hopefully will be a cool steering wheel? Andy and Pete are out. If we yank their names out again, we will draw somebody else. Well, I'm glad you're having fun, Randy. Let's see what we got next. 10 free entries into next month's raffle. Randy with a nut farm. Well, I guess that's appropriate. Since Randy donated into this one, he goes right back in. So maybe, I guess sometimes good deeds do get credit, right? That's awesome. Super excited for you, Randy, to go right back in for next month's drawing after your generous donation to this month's raffle. So anyway, now we're taking 2 more names out thanks to Randy, and Randy can't win his own stuff because he already won tickets into the next month, so he's out, and he still won something, which is awesome. So anyway, the GMC badges that we just auctioned off, Randy said donate them back. He yanked 2 more names out of the can, courtesy of Randy Ellenberger. Let's see who's going to get those GMC badges. That's right, Big Red. Randy does know how to party. It is a win-win, Randy. It's a win for everybody, and I appreciate your support of the show and what we do here. Michael Glagola gets one. And one more name out of tonight's extended raffle. Kind of odd. It turned into an extended raffle tonight, thanks to Randy. Let's yank one more name out. Also going to get a GMC badge. That is another good point, Pete. 4 in a row, 4 different names. You do realize that now this 5th name is going to take 5 tries to get, because we're going to pull Andy, Pete, Randy, and Michael out in a row, because there's no way we're going to get 5 different ones in a row. Perfect, Michael. That'd be great. Can we do it? Can we pull 5 different ones and not have to redraw at all this month? Here we go. Did we get 5 different ones? Yes, we did. Michael Winters. Holy cow. How about that, guys? All right. That was crazy. We usually can't pull two names and not double up on them. So that was awesome. We're going to pull a bunch of Randy's names back out of here for next month. Save those, get them pulled out, get his entries back in there. And get ready to go. So we'll sort those out. We'll keep Randy's 10 entries in there. We'll dump her bag out and start adding the new names in for next month. A lot of fun with that tonight, guys. Once again, huge shout out to Randy Ellenberger for donating those cool GMC badges. I think I think you guys are really going to enjoy those as well. How about a hubcap? Let's check out a cap tonight. I really like these. I do have a few of these. This is right around 1950. This cap looks pretty plain till you look around the outside perimeter. And they actually did make this cap completely plain. And this was bullet nose era right around 1950 for Studebaker. Looks kind of plain, doesn't it? They had the Studebaker letters all the way around the outside perimeter on this particular cap. Set it twice, right around here, and then started back over here and got Studebaker in there twice. But these were a pretty basic cap. Not a lot to them, and all this stuff was around the perimeter. Now, they did make these also without Studebaker on them at all, and they were a completely basic cap. This one still looks pretty decent. Obviously, you guys got your sunglasses on because of the shine, but kind of a dome to it, as you can kind of see from the side, with the lip around it where they stamped the Studebaker in them. This is just like most caps of this era. It is a steel base with a chrome cap stamped or attached and crimped around the side of it. But a pretty unique cap. These caps were 11.5. A lot of these dog dish style caps are usually in the 10 to 10.5 range. This one is a little bit larger, coming in at 11.5 in diameter on this Studebaker cap. It was, Randy, it was worth the smiles. It was a great time. Appreciate that. So kind of an interesting piece for tonight on this Studebaker cap. These I always thought stood out. They were very simple and understated, but once you got close, the Studebaker was very clearly stamped in there and white lettering in them. If you guys can see, I don't know if you guys will be able to tell on your screen, they were painted white. Those actually are stamped in and recessed in the cap with white paint. So very understated, but still a unique piece that I always thought was kind of an interesting cap the way they did that. Randy ain't got that one. It's a neat piece. I think I've got a few of them. I always just thought they were a really cool piece. So, but I think I've got extras if you guys want to auction that one too. I don't know. We can auction it if you guys want. That's up to you. Promo model and brochure coming up. And this is some great stuff tonight, guys. As well as the can, of course. Oh, I guess we're auctioning it. Pete's starting the bidding off. I guess we got to retool here. Kevin L, 15. Okay. Holy cow. You guys just took off on me. Bear with me here. We got to get things set up here. We're shifting gears. I guess we're ready to auction again. Okay, here we go. I guess we're selling a Studebaker cap. I guess we're going to sell this because everybody started. I said we can if we want, and then I didn't even get an answer. Just numbers start popping up. Okay, let me get let me get reset here. Randy with the Nut Farm at 20 on the Studebaker cap. We are on the timer. Here we go. These are pretty cool. You don't see them all that often. Randy at 20, and we are live. And here we go. Glenn, 22. $30 gone. 60 seconds left to go. I don't think we're anywhere near done on this one, guys. This is interesting. A bunch of bids right out of the gate and then crickets. We all know what that usually means. At the end, things get real interesting. 1 minute gone, 30 seconds left to go. Glenn at 22. We're ticking away. Randy at 30. Kevin, 32. Few seconds left. We're just about there. And that does it. Randy at 40, and it was 2 seconds too late. Kevin L at a 35. It was Kevin L at 32. Pete at 41. And then it hit the 130. I had Kevin at 32. 131, I had Randy at 40. Then I had Kevin at 35. Pete at 41. But all those came in starting at 131. Kevin at 32. All right, that one was fun. Okay. I got 2 caps here I got this week. They're the same. I was going to do a choice auction on them. You guys want to squeeze those in, or you want to move on and maybe catch them later? Yep, we want to sell those too. Okay. These just came in with the stuff Tuesday. I've got 2 of them. They're the same thing. We'll do them choice if you guys want to do it. Pete says he's ready to sell them. Are we ready to auction? Okay, yeah, everybody's ready. That's kind of what's going to be a dumb question. All right, we'll do these caps. Then I got to polish them a bit. These things are really nice. They are used, but they have been off the car and inside for a long time. Even the paint is still good in these things. There are 2 of them, like I mentioned. High bidder will have his choice of one, or he can take them both if he wants the pair. They are really cool. They are great looking display pieces. Actually, I'm going to try something different here. I want to get a good shine on these, guys. So we're going to do these next. Okay. These are 1949 or 50. One of them had a red center, one had a gold center. These are gold center Chevrolet caps. These things are awesome. Check these out. Look at that thing. Look at the shine on this. Original paint. The gold background appears to be original. The blue in the bow tie appears to be original. Few little dingies in them, but I mean, the chrome is like a mirror. And there are like I said, I have a pair of them. You all right there, Randy? These are great display pieces. Original paint, original chrome, but they have a few dings, a few scratches, just enough, to know that they're the real deal caps. These are metal bases, chrome plated caps over them, original paint, original chrome. These are they're just nice looking caps. Now, one of them was, okay, this one has a few dingies in it here and there. We can kind of see a little bit down here in the edge. And then we've got, this one actually is scraped up just a bit right around here. No, it's choice, totally VW. You can take one or both. And if in the event of the high bidder just taking one, the second bidder will have the option to take one. Unless there's a tie on the second bid, then we'll open it back up. They're 49 or 50 car. One of them had a red background. One of them had a gold background. I think this was 50. I think 49 had a red background. I think 50 had a gold background. So I'm going to say these are 50 car. So you get your choice. The high bidder can take one or both. If the high bidder only takes one, then the second bidder will have the opportunity to get one. Unless there is a tie bid from the second bidder, then we'll open it up between those two guys. So anyway, times two if you want them both, or you can just take one and then we'll sell the other one. And the first bidder will get their choice. Like I said, they are very similar. So who's going to start us off on this pair of, like I said, we're going to call them 50 Chevy caps. Randy's starting us off at 30. We are on the timer. We are ready to go. And the high bidder will get their choice. Did I give you a diameter on these? I think I did I? I don't remember. These are 9.5 in diameter. 9.5 all the way across. "30 seconds gone." "32 with Ron." Are you trying to bid again? You want to bid? Kevin, 35. Randy, 40. "1 minute gone, 30 seconds left to go." Yeah, I do remember some of this style being in there. Ticking away. We're coming out of the end. Randy at 40. He can take them both if he wants them. It's his choice, whoever the high bidder is going to be. Is that you, Gray Kitty? Are you going to be the high bidder? And that does it. Randy at 40. Pete had a 43. Randy sees 4. Do you want them both, Randy? Forgot to write them or even write them down. Okay. This is the one that had the little scrape right here. This is the one you don't want. Is that correct, Randy? Yeah, okay. So this is the one that you want right here. Let me actually get a Sharpie out and mark that. Okay, I got your name on it, Randy. And we had Kevin L at 35. So he was the second bidder. So I told you guys the second bidder would have first choice at it. You want one of the one with the light scrape at 35, Kevin? Okay, we'll put Kevin L's name on that one. Okay. Got to write all this up or I'm going to forget it. Okay. You bet, Kevin. No problem. I told you you got the second bidder. The second bidder would have the next option on it. So, okay. Can promo. Do we want to do one more plate real quick while we're here for auctions? And maybe then just get on to some of this other stuff to wrap the evening up? What do you guys think? I do have a couple more early plates if you guys are interested in doing one of those. No, you're not, Randy. It's all fun. That's what we're here for. What? What? You're making my life difficult. Yes, you are. Ron's ready. Okay, we'll do one more. We'll do one more early plate, and then we'll keep moving on. Let's have a Hudson badge. I told you guys one more early plate yet tonight. We'll squeeze this one in. Not quite 100 years old, but we're getting pretty darn close. And this one is really straight. This has a little surface rust on it, but man, this is a good looking plate. So let's go ahead and roll with this one. We'll see how the rest of the night goes. I don't know if we'll squeeze any more auction pieces in yet tonight or not, but we can later if we want. We'll need to keep moving after this. But we're having so much fun with those caps. Let's go ahead and try one other thing. 1927. So we're going back 98 years. This thing is straight. Look how flat this plate is. It's 98 years old. Look at the back of it. And the front has a little bit of paint loss and surface rust down here on the bottom. But this thing is 1927. And look at how clean this thing is. It isn't perfect. I'm not going to say it's perfect. But man, this is a pretty darn decent looking plate. This is fresh out of that last batch. It just came in Tuesday. It is about 15 1/8. Yeah, it does have a great look to it. There's no doubt about it, Randy. So definitely a lot longer than what we're used to. Ron at 20 and about 5 3/8 tall on this plate. But this is a good looking dude. I mean, I really like this one. Gray, basically kind of a battleship gray, black numbers on it. Ron's starting us off at 20. We're on the timer. Let's see where it goes. "30 seconds gone." Ron at 20. Great looking plate for $20. You never know, that might hold. I'd be surprised, but it might hold. One minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. Ron at 20, and that's it. Ticking away, coming down to the end. Is that it? Ron at 20 on a 27 plate? Jesse 22, Dick 32. And that does it. We've got Nick at 32. And he barely got that in. I mean, it was like Tony at 33. It was that was like at 129. I mean, Nick could not have cut that much closer. So yeah, that was fun too. Holy cow, I didn't think that 20 was going to hold, but I was starting to wonder because nothing else came in until after a minute 25. So add that one to Nick's collection. How about an oil can? We're having a lot of fun with oil cans as well as our American Oil Cans book. I am hoping by this time next week, some of you guys will have your can books. I'm hoping they come in Tuesday and I can get this stuff on the way to you. Don't know if it'll make it to you by the end of the week, but hopefully it will. So as soon as I get them in, I will get them in your boxes and get them headed your way. I sent him a check. He said I'll get them on the way. So hopefully we see him here soon. Tonight, we're turning to page 85 to can number 980, which doesn't mean anything until you guys get your books. For Swift motor oil. This is the 1 quart Swift can with the bird on it because it was Swift flying. Let's learn a little bit more about them. Can number 980, Swift, Oscar Bryant from Hollis, Oklahoma. Just like we have right down here. White, red, green. A 40s era can, according to the book. Yes, they are 25, Kevin. I've already got all these coming unless he hasn't shipped them yet. If there's more guys that want the can book, you'll have to let me know, and I'll see if I can get some more added if he hasn't shipped them. If not, we'll have to catch some later. So we may have to do another order, and it may take a little longer, but we can get another batch coming. It just may, like I said, we'll kind of have to start over on that deal. And if we in the next batch, we may wait a couple weeks, so we don't want to ship 1 or 2 of them at a time. because he's got to send them to me, and then I get them worked into your guys' shipments. So this Swift can, this particular can does have some surface rust on the other side. This is a metal can, as we can see by the seam. Obviously, being a 40s era can, it's definitely all metal. This one was punched at the top with a church key, just popped open and used. These are not an extremely rare can. As a matter of fact, the value on this can, which is kind of odd, was only $8 is what they had it listed at. However, you got to remember this book is 20 years old. So you got to kind of take that into consideration. I would imagine this can in today's market is probably 25, 30 bucks. So it's not a rare, expensive can. They are out there, but it is a great looking can. And that's what's awesome about oil cans is they don't take up a ton of real estate, and they usually have great colors, and they're beautiful display pieces. So tonight's can from the Oscar Bryant Company in Hollis, Oklahoma, the Swift Motor Oil 1 quart. Let's catch the promo and then tonight's brochure. I'm looking at the brochure right now, and it excites. This is a great one. I've been familiar with this brochure since I was a kid. It is a great looking brochure. It's a great looking car. It's awesome. Can't wait to get to this. But first off, let's get to the promo, because I know you guys are going to like the promo. Hudson badge. Tonight's promo, another one from the Chevrolet collection. That Dad and I went to the auction a year ago. Actually, it's been right at a year ago, last September, I think. And when the smoke cleared what we bought at the auction, what we bought from some guys after the auction, we ended up with 49 of the 84 promos that they sold that day. Tonight is an iconic car that everybody is extremely familiar with. A very well-known car. And this particular one, the top went down. In a very popular color known as Ember Red for 1964, the 1964 Chevrolet Impala Super Sport Convertible. Now, this one's a little bit different. Typically, these promos are all one color. This car was actually equipped with a white interior on this piece. That is a lot of hearts, Pete. As like all these Chevys out of this collection, condition is great. No boxes on any of them, but the bumpers aren't chipped. The corners aren't chipped. The lights are intact. The hearts are still going. And there's some fireworks mixed in with the hearts. Holy cow. No problem, Randy. Looks like you're thirsty, though. I see them beer mugs. We better give you another Hudson badge. All original hubcaps and tires. As with most of these promos, not a ton of detail on the bottom. One piece of injection molded plastic. We do see the X-frame design very clearly displayed in here. This particular car is equipped with buckets and a console. When we look at the interior, it's easy to see the interior on this one. A little bit dusty. I didn't even dust this off, literally. There's still dust on this one. But a really cool one in Ember Red, the 1964 Impala Super Sport Convertible. There's a lot of guys that are really digging this one. It is a great piece. Like I said, all these Chevy promos that we got, there were a few Monzas you guys have seen that, weren't a big deal. Yeah, no problem, Andy. Glad you got to spend some time with them. That's awesome. Glad they were here hanging out with us, and glad you're having fun with them. That's awesome. What do you want? What? Oh, I was going to tell you guys something else too, believe it or not. This is kind of weird. This is going to come as a shock to some of you guys. In fact, I'm going to give you an Auburn badge before I even tell you, and a Hudson badge. I forgot to bring this up earlier. It just happened today. I haven't completed the deal yet. And you guys are, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to comprehend this because it's kind of weird. It's not something I'm used to doing. So bear with me on this, and I hope I don't send anybody into shock when I tell you what's going on here, because this is kind of crazy. I actually made a deal today, and I'm taking a sign off of my wall. I'm taking a sign down. Yeah. There's a sign that is going to go. I bought this sign about 3 years ago, and I'll have to do a video on it. And here about 6 months ago, and putting it on another wall. No, it's actually leaving the shop. No, I didn't sell it. That's the only reason it's coming down. I bought it about 3 years ago, and the guy that I got it from, I still talk to him all the time. I buy several. I buy a lot of stuff from him. He still goes out and finds some stuff occasionally, but he's not a dealer. He doesn't have a dealer's license, so he's very careful about running a bunch of paperwork through his name, things like that. So I end up buying quite a bit of stuff from him. He kind of, he'll understand. He understands I got to do something with it. So, if he can buy it right, he'll work with me. In fact, I agreed to buy a cab from him and another truck from him today. So so I deal with this guy quite a bit, and I bought a truck from him about 6 months ago, and he said, "Hey, you still got that sign?" And I bought several signs from him over the years. I said, "Yeah, I've still got it." He goes, "Well, you want to trade it back? I'll trade you for that truck." I was like, "I don't want to trade a truck for a sign. I just don't want to do it." But he came up with a sign that I love. And it's a great sign. He likes the sign too. But I said, I kind of like that sign better than the sign you want back. And so he said, and this was a couple weeks ago, and he called me today about some stuff. He said, "Hey, we might be able to make something work." He needed a little difference. But so we ran out and looked at it. Addie and I talked about it, and we're going to trade it. We're going to trade it off on another sign. So I'm getting another sign. Don't get me wrong, but there is a sign that is going to leave the shop. I'm still in shock about it, but the sign I'm getting is great, and I'm excited about it. And they're both great signs. Don't get me wrong. Nobody is losing in this deal at all. He's a good dude. We get along great. And he's kind of excited to get this other one back, and I'm excited to get the one that he just found recently. Like I said, it's going to cost me a little bit of difference, but I'm okay with that. But yeah, there's a sign that is going to be leaving the shop. Now, I know where it's going. I know where it's going to be. So I know it's going to be in good hands. But that's kind of a new thing on me. I don't know if I'm going to get a rash. I don't know if I might break out in hives. I'm not really sure what's going to happen. So, maybe it'll probably happen this week. So maybe like next week, if I'm all itchy and got hives and I broke out or something, maybe that happened. I don't know. We'll find out. But I'm just giving you guys fair warning that made an agreement today to take a sign down, and it is leaving the shop. But I'm so excited about the other one too. Even given a little difference, I'm so excited about it. I'm geeked about it. So just want to give you guys fair warning. I don't know when it's going to go down, but if the next time you see me, or something like that, you'll know what happened. The sign thing happened. So yeah, that's true. So I'll do a video on it when I get it down, and we'll do a video on the new one. Yeah. That's another good point, Kevin. Hadn't thought about that. but another good point to keep into consideration. Well, see, now you know, Randy, I'm trading. So, yeah. So I'm getting another sign. I'm not letting it go without getting another sign, but it worked out. I'm happy with where it's going. I'm happy with what I'm getting. There we go. Bill Disc has his EMT. So I'll be sharing that with you guys in the near future when this all comes together. But I did mean to mention that earlier, and I kind of got off track and forgot about it. But I did want to give you guys a heads up just in case I'm in convulsions next time we get together or something from a sign loss. Anyway, we all need a Hudson badge after that one. Let's get into tonight's brochure. And I ran out of time to get story time tonight, so we will catch the brochure and we'll be about ready to wrap up after that. Probably be a little bit too late to get into classifieds, although oh man, we might do classifieds tonight too, because there's not a ton of them, but oh man, there's some so cool stuff in the classifieds tonight. All right, let's catch the brochure, and then we'll try to squeeze classifieds in. If not, we'll push them off to next week. But I just remembered what I saw in the classifieds last night when I was getting stuff ready. Tonight's brochure, I love this brochure. I have known this brochure. This is a new one. This is the one out of the big brochure collection. Hey, there's Big Job. Hope everything is okay with your mom. But glad you made it by tonight for some fun. But this brochure, I'm very familiar with it. I've known it for years. A lot of these brochures, if you don't have them in your hands, you don't intimately know them. This one, I'm very familiar with, and you guys are going to understand why. You've seen it in another video, not this exact brochure, but you have seen it in another video. The marketing was great. The pictures were great. The artwork was amazing. And this is just a knockout piece. I've always loved it. I've always liked the cars. I've always liked this brochure. And this is a big one. They did make this in a smaller version as well. This is the premium brochure. This particular one, 14.25 by 11.5. Without further ado, tonight's brochure highlighting the Airborne B58 Buick. Yes, we saw one of these in, I believe Dad had this one in the trunk of the 58 Supra when we did the video on it. The Airborne B58 Buick, we see the nose on the front. Now, the tail of this brochure looks slightly different than most 58 Buicks. They actually have a limited on the back cover. So the front is supposed to be a limited as well, I'm sure. However, the noses all look the same on all 58, special all the way up through limited. The limited did have a different tail. Special Century had a different tail compared to Super Roadmaster. And then Limited had its own taillights utilizing a Super Roadmaster rear bumper, but its own taillights and own ornamentation on the trunk. But a beautiful brochure. There goes the hearts. So let's crack this thing open. I'm going to have to kind of hold it up to the side so you guys can take a look at it. But it is super cool. Obviously, with Dad's 58, that car's been around since 76. I've been around since 74. So there's never really been a time that I ever remember that there hasn't been a 58 Buick in the family. So as we open the front of it, it looks and feels like flight on wheels, the Airborne B58 Buick. Starting at the top with the Special, the bottom of the line car. Right below it, the Super in a blue four-door hardtop, the same as Dad's car. The Roadmaster 75, the Limited, the Century, and the Estate Wagon. So we're going to take a few minutes to go through this thing because it is pretty epic. Starting off with the Limited. An exclusive new luxury car, proudly presented and proudly possessed. Now, most of us that are familiar with 58 Buicks are familiar with the full shield on the rear quarter. Limited, however, had a body-colored panel with hash marks in it as opposed to the full stainless shield similar to the other 58 Buicks. The limited hardtop and the limited convertibles. And once again, guys, these are not photographs. The Roadmaster 75. Second in line of the series in 58. Well, hopefully everything keeps going well for you. Big job. We'll all be thinking about you and pulling for your mom. That's right, Balin Wire. A lot of chrome on these things. The Roadmaster in the two-door hardtop as well as the convertible. The Super for 58. And just like Dad's car, here it is in the light metallic blue color. In the four-door hardtop. This car here, pretty much a twin to Dad's. If you haven't seen the video on that car, be sure to check it out as well. As well as the Super two-door hardtop. Century for 58. Getting into the smaller series cars, the smaller bodied cars. The Century and the Special. We'll start off with the Century. Sounds like we're getting some rain here. The Century convertible, and the Century sedan, and the Century hard two-door hardtop. And here we go, guys. Up next, we have what I think, my personal opinion, for whatever that's worth, which is, you know, that and a couple bucks and you can go buy coffee. Holy cow, I think it's getting after it out there. Hold on a second. I'm going to look outside just a second. Before we get to this next car, I got to see what's going on outside. Meow. Okay, it is pouring. No, I don't see any hail or anything, but it is pouring out there. So I wonder if you guys can hear it or not. But no, it's not raining in the building, but my air conditioner is right there, so it sticks out from the side of the building. So the rain hits the air conditioner, and that's probably what you're hearing. So we'll get, let's finish this brochure up real quick, and then we'll see where we're at. Hopefully it'll back off here shortly, and it won't matter, but we'll see. But one of the greatest looking cars I think ever created. I love these things. I think they're a knockout. The 1958 Buick Caballero station wagon. This one down here is the Caballero. These are special wagons. The Caballero was the fancier of the station wagons in 57 and 58 for Buick. I love these cars. I think they're knockouts. And then down to the base model car, the special for 58. Now, if you guys remember, the very first parts car I ever had, I bought from my grandpa. And I don't know if you guys remember seeing that car or hearing me talk about that car, but it is a 58 Buick Special. It is still at the yard. I bought it when I was probably 10 years old. I've still got it out there, and this is the 58 Special. The one I've got is a regular sedan, but it was a 58 Special is what it was. And a few more pages of the special. The B12000, the most modern engine it is possible to build for today's fuel. This spectacular V8 engine takes its name, B12000, from the fact that it develops a thrust of 12,000 pounds behind every piston as it is fired. With such a tremendous driving force, this vertical valve V8 works at a record of 10-to-1 compression and 300 horsepower in the limited Roadmaster Super and Century. And with the two-barrel carburation in the Special, it delivers 9.5-to-1 compression and 250 horsepower. But more important than its statistics, this is an engine of almost limitless reserve for any road challenge, an engine which uses the advantage of aluminum wherever possible, an engine with the finest electrical system in the industry, and above all, it is an engine built to the exacting standards of the highest Buick quality yet. In short, here in this B12000, you have the most modern engine it is possible for today's fuels. The Buick Nailhead V8, the B12000 for 58. That is very true, Randy. And backing up that Nailhead was the Flight Pitch Dynaflow. Something else that a lot of people were not aware of that was available in 58, and it wasn't just Buick. It was available across the GM line. In fact, it was even available on Chevrolet, believe it or not. The Miracle Ride. The Miracle Ride in 1958, and like I said, I believe it was available on across the line in GM in 58. The Air Poise suspension. Yes, they had air suspension available in 58. The systems did not work that well. Most cars were converted to conventional springs when they were fairly new. But air airbags, air ride was available across the board, I believe, in 58 GM. Chevrolet called it level air. Buick called it air ride. It wasn't just Cadillac and Buick. It was available, I think, on everybody in 58. Not a very popular option. I'm sure it was very pricey. And then, of course, not only was it pricey, then it didn't work that well. Why is the Buick the big car that's light on its feet? Shows the whole chassis and frame. Sounds like the rain slowed down, but I'm sure we got enough that it's going to soak the yard. So we'll get a lot done out there for the next few days again. So I haven't done anything hardly out there in the last week. Buick air conditioning. Both in-dash as well as an under-dash unit available in 58 for Buick. The Packard air ride sucked. I've never messed with any of those. Apparently Tracker Mike has a little experience with those. Let's check out some of the other options available on the 58 Buick. Of course, the radio, the Itronic eye, the automatic headlight dimmer. That's not new technology. Dual exhaust. Special accessory group. If you had a base special, you could get the accessory group, which came with an electric clock, full wheel covers, an automatic trunk light, and a rear license plate frame. The Wonder Bar radio, the signal seeking radio, a power antenna, easy eye glass, padded dash, option for a special. I believe it was standard in the rest of the 58 Buick line. Power windows, power brakes, windshield washers, 6-way power seat, perimeter heating, power steering, safety group accessories including a safety buzzer, a signal that you set to buzz when you reach your speed limit, backup lights, safety instrument panel cover on the lower section, parking brake warning lamp, glare-proof inside rear view mirror. All items standard on Limited and Roadmaster 75, optional on other series, as well as Lucite paints. A completely new kind of car paint, not a lacquer, not an enamel, but a distinct and radical departure for anything used before. It gives you a high hard finish that practically never needs waxing or polishing. Standard on the Limited and Roadmaster 75, optional on other series. The 1958 Buick factory installed accessories. And the specifications broken down by cars. This is all pretty much text, but it tells you what comes with your particular car, starting with the Limited, the Roadmaster 75, the Super, the Century, and the Special. It breaks down this standard equipment available that comes with each series of car 458. And then we're back to our back cover with the Limited tail shot. So there you have it. The Airborne B58 Buick sales brochure. You know, like I told you guys, Dad's had one of these forever because he's had the car forever. So I grew up, taking this thing to a car show and laying this stuff out in the trunk. I remember that when I was a kid. We'd take the 58 somewhere. You get to the car show, we'd open the trunk, we'd lay all this literature out to go with the car, just to display with the car. So been familiar with this brochure for pretty much most of my life. Excited to share it with you. Excited that there's one in this collection. Guys, every time I open a box, still, it's just blows my mind every time I open something or pull out another brochure. I was looking at some stuff today. I can't even remember what I pulled out, but I was like, it just doesn't stop. I know at some point, someday, I will kind of come to a point where I've seen most of it and it's not as surprising or not as fun. But that might be so long down the road that I'll have forgotten the early stuff, so I may be refinding it again. I don't know. And that's true, Randy, and we've talked about that every time we look at these. These things were art. You know, there's not one photograph in this brochure. Not one. This was all art. Every bit of this was art. And it mattered. They had to have this stuff to sell cars. It had to look good. It had to be attractive. You know, somebody had to pick this up and say, wow, that caught my eye. I like that. That is stylish. It looks good. That's what these things were. These were so important. It wasn't like today where you get on the internet and you punch up 2025 Dodge pickup or Ford pickup or whatever you're looking for, and all this data pops up. And then you got all these people that love it. You got all these people that hate it. You know, and typically the people that hate something are people that probably tore it up or broke it and had to pay to fix it because it wasn't warranty because you tore it up. So you got to weed through all that. Back then, you had this. You had the salesman. You had your neighbors. You may have had the guys at the coffee shop. Maybe you talked to some guys at work. But this is what was laying on your dining room table while you were discussing, thinking about, trying to decide what was going to be your next new car purchase. And you probably had 4 or 5 of them. So you wanted your brochure to stand out. And I think this one does. You know, they even put the little, you see the shiny spots on the grill where these were popping with a reflection. Even the little rings in the V on the hood and then the reflection on the rings. Pretty amazing stuff. The amount of work that went into something like this to put it together was just stunning. Whoops, come back here. And, of course, the way Buick wrapped up most of their marketing and advertising back in the 50s, or even in the 40s. When better automobiles are built, Buick will build them. Basically sending a message to the American consumer that wherever there is, as that forefront keeps moving, as that target keeps moving forward, as automobiles got better, Buick was always going to be at the forefront building those cars. Even look at the shield in the trunk on this 58 Limited brochure. How detailed the shield itself is. No, you do not, Big Job. Randy's done some amazing stuff for us as well. Got a piece of it right there. So a great piece. Obviously one that means something to me. Glad to have this in my collection. Obviously, we've got the one in the car as well. You bet, David. Glad you enjoyed it. Don't see you commenting very often, David D., but glad you did. Glad you enjoyed it. So we'll tuck her back away in its envelope, and maybe we'll have to get it out again sometime. Anyway, guys, I think do you guys want to catch classifieds real quick, or you want to wrap up? Yes, we were a Big Job. He did some great work for us. That was awesome when we raffled some of his work off. Obviously, we've still got the sign he made for me right here. So that was awesome when Randy did that for us. That was some pretty cool stuff. Classifieds real quick. Are we done tonight, guys? I don't want to run you guys too late. So what do you think? Or are we all off? Did everybody already sign off and it just didn't tell me? Bring them on? Okay. Awesome, Randy. That's exciting. Sounds great, Austin. Oh, yeah, that's right. Big job just started. All right, we'll go ahead and catch them because there's not a bunch of them tonight. What's awesome about this is the time period we're going to. It wasn't awesome back then. VW's on board. All right, we'll do them real quick. There's not a ton of them in here, but there was some stuff that was so cool. I had to share it with you guys. Going back to the gas crunch era. We all know what happened in the gas crunch, right? December 1973 hot rod. Cover price 75 cents. So I bet you guys know what's coming up in the classifieds, right? Smoking deals on muscle cars. That's right. Let's check it out. In December 1973, what could you pick up if you had a couple grand laying around? Of course, a couple grand was a lot of money in 73. But let's go do Hot Rod Mart. The Hot Rod Mart, December 73 classified ads. Well, I hope your foot's doing better, Tony, so we'll check these out. Not a ton of them in here tonight, but there's some great stuff. So, in the Street Machines section of the Hot Rod Mart, December 1973, you can see the top of the first one. Sounds great, Randy. Sell 1969 Hurst Olds. Power steering, power discs, posi, factory air, new Holly, 4,000 miles on factory overhaul, new L60 Goodyears, only 200 cars built. So 69 Hurst with a fresh motor, $3 grand or best offer. Up next, after the Hurst Olds, sell 1970 Chevelle 454, 450 horse LS6 automatic 410 rear end, air shocks, Kraggers, Excel wires, 12-inch foam wheel, never hit or raced, original owner, very mint, 4,500 miles. 4,500 mile LS6 Chevelle with Kraggers. So, how much was this? It's got a picture of it. Right below the Cutlass, there it is. LS6 454 automatic 70 Chevelle for $3,500. Yeah, I'm sure, Kevin. You okay there, Pete? One owner, 4,500 miles, trying to get $3,500 out of it. That's true. You couldn't, it was hard to get gas. Let's see. What did I do? Something went wonky here on me. There we go. Okay, these other ones don't have pictures on these next few, but we're going to read the ads anyway. Sell 1970 Plymouth Superbird, 440 6-pack and a 4-speed. Headers, Excel, Sun, Zoom, Anson, Candy Apple Red, best of everything, street driven daily. So a V code 440 6-pack 4-speed Superbird. And actually, this was a ton of money back then. It sounds absolutely absurd today, but this was a ton of money back then. It didn't say best offer on this one; it just had a price, but it was going to take $4,500 to own it. 57 Bel Air 4-door station wagon, running condition, no rust, automatic, air conditioning, $500. 57 Bel Air wagon with air. Let's jump over to the other side of Hot Rod Mart and check out a few more. Sell 57 Chevy Bel Air 4-door hardtop with 15,000 actual miles. Absolutely mint, original, including paint and tires, factory fresh interior, 283 automatic, asking $2,300. Sell. This is definitely 1973. Yeah, that's true. $500 won't buy you much for a 57 Bel Air, especially the one if that car had factory air. I don't think you can buy the dash vents for $500. Remember, we're in 1973. Sell a Barry Mini T, metal flake blue with a 1600cc modified engine. So a Barry Mini T little kit car. Diamond interior, 10-inch deep dish Anson, M&H Indies on the rear, lots of chrome, $2,500. Sell 1923 T Roadster with a big block, 396 Chevy T10 4-speed, Hurst shifter, Holly carb, 411 posi, rolled and pleated white Naga hide, glass body, midnight blue, all new, mechanically perfect, street driven. So a T bucket with a big block and a 4-speed, $2,000. Nope, haven't seen any Willys for sale yet. There was something about a Willys body, but I think it was, what did it say about that Willys body? Oh, there was a mid-30s Willys fiberglass body car that it was, kind of wasn't, it was just like something that somebody had put together, so I kind of skipped over that one. But we can sure go back and catch it. Let's see what we got. There was a few other things here. Was that about it? Let's go back and catch that Willys ad real quick. No pictures. Sell 33 to 36 style fiberglass Willys coupe. Needs interior. 900 street miles on a blueprinted 450 horse 350 LT1. 20 mile per gallon. I don't know why they were worried about advertising 20 mile per gallon, but now this is in 73. So I don't think Dennis was cranking them out yet in 73. $2,990, $2,990. One other thing here, it's kind of a small ad, and there's no pictures, but we're going to read it anyway because we're going to have to imagine it. But I know we can imagine it and get it in our head of what it looks like. D500 Dodge race car carrier. Was this one of their old ramp trucks? One of the old factory ramp trucks that one of the competition teams used? Who knows? New headliner, carpet, upholstery, AM/FM stereo, new paint, winch, aluminum ramps hidden in bed, observation platform, and tire rack over the cab. So you're right, Randy. It was actually a good selling point at the time. We don't think about that, but it probably was. So, tire rack over cab, observation platform, aluminum ramps that slide into the bed. Sounds an awful lot like some of those factory team Dodge transporters from back in the 60s, right? Sure does to me. $4,100 invested in this truck, asking $1,750. $1,750 for one of those awesome old school Dodge Ramp trucks. How killer would that be? So anyway, that's what we had for classifieds in the December 1973 issue of Hot Rod. You bet, Kenny. Glad you were here. That'll pretty much wind us up for tonight. I appreciate everybody swinging by, spending some time with us tonight. Covered a lot of stuff tonight. Had a lot of fun. Had a pretty steady crowd considering it was a holiday weekend. We were definitely down a little bit on numbers, but we had a good steady crowd throughout the whole thing. So I do appreciate you guys stopping by, spending some time with us and hanging out. I hope everybody had fun tonight. Episode number 275 is as insane as that sounds, is in the books. Check that one off. What do you want? What? Oh, you're fine. All right, guys. Appreciate you being here. Thanks for stopping by, spending some time here. We'll get ready. Hopefully Toy Tuesday will work, and we'll check out the rest of that stuff I found last weekend. You bet, Michael. Glad you enjoyed it. Glad you got to hang. I told you guys there was some good stuff in the classifieds tonight, didn't I? Appreciate all the kind comments. And like I keep telling you guys, a lot of you guys thank me for what we do here, but this wouldn't be anything without all of you swinging by and spending some time and participating in the chat. Invite your friends over. We'll do some digging around, see what we can find out for a raffle next month. Hopefully we'll have some oil can books headed your way next week. We'll dig some more oil cans out of my collection to start checking out. And what? Oh, geez. And just like I mentioned, in case I'm in, having convulsions or something, next time you see me, you know that the sign left the shop. But I'm hoping when the new sign replaces it, it will all be better. But I'll do a video on it so you guys know what's going on. And see what your opinion is, whether you think I screwed up or whether my deal was okay. They are both good signs, and I'm excited about it. Sounds good, big job. Enjoy it. Glad you were here tonight, John. With that, I'll go ahead and wind things down. We'll see some of you Tuesday night. What's coming up next week on the videos for the public videos? Let's see. Next week, public videos are going to be, a car that I didn't even know what it was. I walked up in this car in the weeds, didn't know what it was. How often does that happen? I walked up on a car, didn't know what it was. That video will be coming out Sunday, I believe. Or not Sunday, Wednesday, excuse me. What's coming up? Oh, next Friday night will be another Pioneer Village video where we spent some time with Sister Clara's letters, the book about that his sister put together, or they put together with the letters from his sister about how they put Pioneer Village together and how they found some of those cars. So anyway, as always, I appreciate the Johnny Carson comments. I still don't think we do anything near to that caliber here, but we do try. We do have some fun. I try, and we do have a lot of fun here, but I do try to put a good show together for you guys. Glad you enjoyed it tonight. Stay tuned for those videos coming up next week. We'll try to get Toy Tuesday to go so you can see finally what I picked up last week. I had a lot more stuff coming up. I've got a gas pump in the back of the truck right now that I've never had the opportunity to buy. I bought it a couple of months ago. I just picked it up tonight. We need to get that squeezed in on a Toy Tuesday. Never had the chance to buy one of these pumps. I've seen them before. Never had an opportunity to buy one. It's in the back of the truck right now. The sign deal's working. Lots of stuff happening. So we'll get those videos up this week. We'll get some new members up for the video, or for the members as well. If you do want to get the videos early, be sure to jump into the membership group and up your to at least a super nobody. If not, join the membership group so you can hang out with everybody else. You'll get the green title, just like these guys that are commenting with a green title that are part of the membership group. And with that, I'm going to wrap this thing up. Let you guys get back to your evening. I'm going to get things wound down around here. Thanks for being here. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you watching the videos. I appreciate you bringing your friends over and inviting them to the chat. And I'm glad everybody has a great time. Thank you for being here, supporting what we do. We'll see some of you Tuesday, and we sure hope to see you all right back here next Sunday night, same bat time, same bat station, for some more Sunday night Gearhead Interactive Live Chat. Have a great week, everybody, and thanks for watching.